is up, everybody? Welcome to the Burndown YouTube channel. Figured I'd do something a little bit different today and share this with you. So, for those of you that follow along a lot, you know that we picked up a project that I need like a hole in my head, right? We were looking for parts for the rear end for the Twinnebago, and we came home with a 1975 Pacer because that's what car guys do. And my son actually likes it. I dig it. What do you think? Look at all that motor.
I think we should actually keep this car so we can go to car shows.
You gonna take it to car shows?
Yeah, and then we can like open our hood.
Then you can open the hood? All right. We're gonna make kind of a runaround vehicle, a daily, if you will. I know people say that all the time with classic vehicles, like, I want to daily this thing. Well, I'm really gonna kind of try to do it, considering I don't really drive anywhere. So that makes it really simple to daily a classic, because I take my kid to school and I basically go to like breakfast and I don't leave the house. So it's pretty easy to daily it. Typically too, for those of you guys that follow along or maybe don't, I am a jack of all trades, master of none. I have a background in graphic design, build customs classics, do custom paint, you kind of name it. I cover the gamut of everything. And I would say that I'm good at a lot of stuff. I'm not a master of pretty much anything, but I know enough to get myself into deep trouble a lot. And that's kind of what we do on the channel. We just get the old shovel out and I just keep digging, and we get ourselves in all kinds of trouble here on Burndown. So without further ado, I want to put it on the screen. So drum roll, brrr, bing. So there it is. That is my vision for the Pacer. I wanted to go crazy with the paint because the car is small. I do like flashy, I like flake, I like candy paint, obviously. But something about just having a plain car. My wife just got a new Dodge Charger. It is stormtroopered. And I went through all the rainbow of colors because it's, you know, now that the rendering's done, I can change the colors out fairly easily. I really liked the bright greens. But my boy wasn't into it, and then he kind of liked the blue. And then it was funny because I was like, you know what? This car would look good just white with like, because I want to black the windows and stuff out because there's so much glass that I don't want the heat, and I want to put AC in it. And I'm like, man, white cars with black windows always look good. So I blacked all the trim, I blacked the windows, and I'm like, man, that is cool. It's easy, it's forgiving to paint. So maybe when I'm doing this, I can kind of give paint tutorial on stuff. What I'd like to do with the Pacer is share with you guys and show you guys kind of along the way. So we could do simple paint tutorials. If you want to shoot a car white, it's like the most forgiving, easiest color you can do. It's hard to paint, I'll be honest with you. The coverage portion is hard because it reflects and it's hard to see, and like you get blinded when you're doing it. Easy to blend, easy to finish, all that fun stuff. And it's cheap. White paint's usually cheap. Like, you don't get crazy with the colors. Maybe we'll throw a little pearl or something just to make it fun, but I don't know. I'm gonna try to refrain. And I figured if it's simple, if we have door dings or anything happens to the car, it's easy to repair or fix. And it's just kind of plain vanilla, you know? And then I wanted to keep the 14s on it and just keep it stock, and like maybe black just the stock hubcaps out and lower it on those. But I don't think like an 8.8, the brakes and stuff aren't gonna fit, right? It's only a 14-inch wheel. So then I'm like, and then I went through all kinds of wheel options, and I just came back to just a plain steel rim, I think is awesome. And then that's a little spider hubcap back from my custom car days. So I don't know, I thought it was kind of gangster, and it was different from what you would see on that car. And I want to get away from like the big 5 spokes, and initially I was like, maybe we'll throw it on some 18s and lower it, but I'm like, I don't want a bunch of hoopla and a bunch of rim and wheel rubbing on stuff when I'm turning. Like 15s will be fine as long as they clear some disc brakes. The disc brakes don't have to be giant, the car didn't weigh all that much. We'll give her a little bit of power. Make sure it stops and turns, it just functions like a normal car. We're not trying to race the world down with this thing and be too crazy with it. We just want a nice, reliable daily. We'll put a system in it. Just fun stuff that you would expect to get in a classic car and go mob with your, you know, your wife or your son or, you know, daughter, whoever. You would jump in it, hit the key, and then just kind of go. You're not worried about being the fastest, not worried about being the flashiest, the coolest, none of that. Just something where you're like, that's a cool car, I dig it, and you just enjoy it for what it is. Really trying to stay in that lane. And then also, I want to kind of work with, you know, some of the guys and things that I know on some of the aspects of the build and try to bring package stuff, because people ask me about some of the things that we do here. I get a lot of help from some of my buddies on some of the things that I actually pull off. So it'll be fun to kind of stick it in a lane where I can do it, you can watch me do it, and then you could repeat it as far as price and availability and all that stuff. So when we build like the transmission, we do the converter, we'll go through Ryan, we'll talk to him, and we'll get something lined out. So it's kind of an off-the-shelf item, if you will, so you guys could just replicate it. Then I'll make a video, and same with whatever converter that we come up with for the thing. We'll do some sort of budget deal, because I already have, you know, I'm going to have the highest end converter he makes in the Malibu. We've got a nice big tow converter in that, so this will be a fun one for like a driver, 500 wheel horsepower, budget friendly. Like you set it, forget it, put this thing in, and it should work for a multitude, you know, of driving. And again, drivability is key. I don't want something real loose. I just want something we can facilitate a cam, but we're not going crazy with cam selection. So we're gonna just do a middle of the road car that'll make good power, should have some good drivability, and then I just want it to look pretty cool. And that's my vision for the car. I think it makes it a little tougher than it is, and it is bubbly, so it still is a pacer. You're not gonna really get away from it being a pacer, but I figure with the blacked out grille, blacked out windows, lowered down some 15-inch steel rims, black on that, white on everything else, and then the interior is already black too. So that's pretty cool. And then we'll just, like I said, twin turbo AC, we'll put some little touches and some stickers and stuff on it. If you guys are wondering about the name, what's that movie? It's like We're the Millers, I think it is. And there's that guy, Scotty P, and he's like, no regrets. And it says like regrets on his neck.
That's my credo, no regrets.
He's like the boyfriend guy that shows up for one of the teenage daughter in the movie. And that guy always made me laugh really hard. And then his name was Scotty P, but they never said what P stood for. And we were trying to name the pacer, and I forget what it was. And I was like, yeah, no regrets. Oh, because my buddy Joe was giving me grief about like tearing apart like a nice car. He's like, just leave it as it is and drive around. I'm like, no, dude, everything needs the best motor on the planet, an LS. So I like to poke and prod him. So yeah, it just Scotty P. I thought it was hilarious because it's Scotty Pacer. So yeah, that's the name of the car, Scotty P. No regrets. I'm gonna put a no regret sticker on there too because I think it's fun. We are gonna do the licorice dispenser because my wife requested that. So anybody that sees the Pacer knows Wayne's World. So I think it would be funny if they actually look inside and that thing is in the car. So I'll come up with my own version of that. We'll have that in there so we, you know, actually pay some homage to Wayne's World. And then we're just gonna do, you know, a stormtrooper lowered, awesome little car. It'll be fun to hear V8 sounds come from it. You know, I want it to function. Like I said, stop, steer, brake, do everything normal. Cool itself for sure, all that fun stuff. So I will take you guys down the rabbit hole as we build that. I have the Twinnebago is kind of back in action. We're gonna feel her out, but I think the thing is pretty well good to go. And then we have a lot of work to do on the Malibu. So the Pacer project isn't coming until like next year. I'm gonna squirrel nut parts away for it. We'll kind of shake down sponsors and things, and I'm gonna get a really solid plan before I approach people because I wanna go, this is exactly what we're doing with this car. So that way I have a game plan and everything. You know, I usually just wing stuff. I'll be honest with you. I'm like, oh, we can do this and that. And then, you know, something will pop up or somebody helps out or I'm like, oh, I can do this. So the Pacer, I just want it regimented, super vanilla. And then we'll just lean on all my friends and everything. And then I want to share everything with you guys. So I'm looking forward to it. I hope you guys like the rendering. Give me your opinion, good or bad, ugly, whatever. And I know that it's a love-hate car. And then with my rendition of what I'd like to do with it, I'm sure that is also a love-hate deal. But I think it's fun to share with you guys. That's my vision. That is my rendering, Scotty P. We're gonna make that thing a reality. And really quick before I go, before we get all froggy and crazy on that thing, because I always do this to myself, I grab a car, rip it all apart, and I start the project. We're gonna go a little bit slower with Scotty P. So in between, when we have some time, I want to fire up the motor that's there. You know, if the thing runs, maybe we'll try to take it around the block and we can all giggle and stuff. And then if the darn thing will do that, I already talked to my buddy KP and I said, I'll schedule some dyno time and we'll load that thing up and maybe we'll do a live and we'll see what kind of power the original motor makes. I watched Happel do that with some of his cars and I always think it's fun. Everybody loves to see the big horsepower stuff, right? We're shooting for big power with the Malibu. I have a motorhome that makes more than it really needs to. This one, it'll be fun just to guess because nobody's gonna have an idea of what it makes. It's gonna be terrible, but it'll be terribly good. So we're gonna do those types of things and we'll run around the block and that's all the fun stuff too. I wanna go back with that car to having fun. We're getting way out in the weeds with the Malibu. You know, we're shooting to be kind of competitive, and as soon as you do that, it kind of takes some of the fun out of it, and it makes the price tag a lot higher. So to combat that, we'll just throw some money at the Pacer and have fun with it, and then we'll just be excited about the victories with the Pacer and chipping away and just, you know, having a car that we can run and drive and just drive around that's fun, that you got to get in, you're not climbing over monkey bars, you're not worried about killing yourself in it. That's kind of all we're looking for. So that is it. You guys know what to do. Like, subscribe, share. I'm out.
No regrets.